Alright, what's going on, you guys? We're going to go ahead and get started on this recap for today. We're going to start off from all the way back into Asia, what I did Asia, London, and then how I ended off New York. So, to start off, pretty simple. This was Thursday's price action, and once we ended up closing the markets, we reopened back up for our Asia right here at 3 p.m. So, this was our Asia start right here, and as we can see, right as we opened up Asia on the 15-minute, we still had a 15-minute bullish fair value gap. And well, let's cut back and let's look at all of the price action. This is nothing but purely bullish. I've explained it to you guys that right now, especially with everything that's happening, we've had triple witching, we've had ceasefire reports. Supposedly we're supposed to have rate cuts soon, but who knows about that one. But to continue is we just only have major bullish signs that we're gonna go up. So as we drop down to a 3 minute and we can head down, you guys can see all of my in-depth what I was thinking in the heat of the moment on my Discord. So if you guys haven't joined the Discord, on the right as we start off in our post market, we're immediately able to identify where our first high is at. So afterwards, we see market do whatever it wants to. We see a 3 minute bearish fair value gap get built. We see SMT at highs, create chop, but continue to hold our 15-minute fair value gap. And at the end of the day, you're always going to choose something that is a much higher time frame rather something that isn't a low, that's something that isn't a higher time frame. So as we come back down here onto a 15-minute fair value gap, I find myself being able to take a position for longs after we sweep out this really quick low and we come down to basically the rejection lows of this still inside the 15-minute fair value gap. I decided to chase this. Obviously, my most take profit points were around this 3 minute fair value gap. We were able to push higher. I was hoping for a breakout. Didn't end up getting it, and we ended up getting stopped out, creating equal highs. This is where we create our first BTC. This is a BTC mini because these are only like short recent lows. Anything that is like major highs, major lows, that is just going to be a major BTC. So as we just have this mini stack of lows, we can see that once we break under it, we come back up, we tap into it once again. Not only do we tap into it, we're rejecting the fair value gap inside of it, and we're at EQ kill zone. So all of our confluences, at least 3 of them, are aligning for at least a minimal pullback. That's exactly what we end up getting into, and thankfully, Pivot God, we're able to identify that we do have SMT at lows, and I'm not sure if you guys have noticed this as well, we did end up held out by this bullish fair value gap on the 1 minute. That ends up happening. It ends up happening. The fair value gap holds us. We push higher. I'm able to recognize this because I'm on a 15-second time frame. We break higher, and this is where we create our new BTC. We push higher, come back a little bit lower. Honestly, I could have entered somewhere here, but I didn't see a fair value gap or anything. If anything, what I could have done better myself is wait for the inverse of this fair value gap, and this would have been so much more safer. So, goes to show, I am always still learning. I know you guys look at my alerts and you guys think I'm some god. I'm still learning. I still have a long way to go, you guys. That's what our journey is. So, what I could have waited is for this fair value gap to become an inverse, to come back down, could have entered here, rode it up obviously, then I could have had a crazy re-entry here, but I'm still very happy with the entry that I got, which was price comes up, gives us our break above these highs, comes back down, respects overall our BTC, and respects a fair value gap in continuation of the trend. Easy draw of liquidity being this high, and this buys out liquidity. As we push higher, I continue to hold my trade, hold it more and more until we eventually get dropped out here at 22740. From here, I let price action just pretty much do its thing for a little bit. There were at least some scalps to be seen, but we were creating SMT trend lines. If you don't know what SMT trend lines are, is that when we create a sort of consolidation zone, but we keep on bouncing back and forth due to the SMTs. So most of the time we're going to create these little trend lines that happen, and price will stay inside of this, which will allow you to do what? Allow you to take ping pong trades, meaning that you trade it to the low of it, and if it doesn't break through and you see an immediate reversing price action come through, then you could trade that as well. Ping pong SMT trend lines. We're still inside of a 3 minute bearish fair value gap, and as we come lower, I see that we do have SMT at lows, and we kind of stop dumping. Yeah, we don't automatically start pumping, but we start holding more bullish price action. With all the bearish candles that come in, we immediately fill them back up until we inevitably get the spike. Once I see this spike happen and I see this basically get inversed with another bullish fair value gap created in play, that for me was more than enough conviction to know that we're going to at least minimum be able to take this out as a draw of liquidity. We're able to push higher. I end up getting stopped out when we pulled back because I had my stop somewhere around here. This is where things got really nice. We were able to mark out this fair value gap. This was honestly just super clean. We're able to mark out this fair value gap. Price dumps lower. I'm thinking, damn, missed a move. It is what it is. Price comes back up and gives us 3 major wick rejections. Off of that, I instantly had to enter my trades. If you guys want to see more of an analysis, please join my Discord. That's where I talk way more commentary style of what I'm looking at in the heat of the moment. So once we're able to enter off of this fair value gap, we drop lower, entered off of, I'm sorry, I forgot to mark it out as well. Entered off of another BTC that we're able to form off of this, also basically inversing this fair value gap. A lot of these confluences are really stacking, which I really liked. We were able to trail it all the way down. I was looking for maybe a sweep down here, but I ended up getting stopped out here. Dumps lower. We create SMT at low. Once we see those SMTs, this is when I switch to QQQ as I start trading for options since it was Friday. Alright, pulling us back now to QQQ. What are we looking at as our draw of liquidity? As we immediately identify, I want to see this void get filled. I want to see this gap get filled. So when I see that we do come to the void entrance, I know that most of the time we are going to have a rejection there. So that's where I end up taking my first call trade. I meant to hold it longer, but I'm going to just be honest, I was too tired. I cut my trade and I passed out. I ended up passing out for a while because when I woke up again, I marked all of this out once I woke up. But when I woke up again, I woke up, I think, right at like 11:20, and I got on the charts like at 11:21. So before we get to here, to identify what was going on, price pumps up, sweeping out this internal high. As we sweep the internal high, we create consolidation. Price is jumping back and forth. We respect this 1 minute bullish for value gap. Up here, ends up dropping lower. Where do we hold? We hold inside of a fair value gap, inside of equilibrium kill zone, entering our 8 a.m. gamma GX flip. This was a perfect pivotal moment to re-enter back onto your calls. Then what do we end up getting? We end up getting SMT right at the highs. 9 a.m. comes around. We end up selling off. Slowly end up creating BTC that holds, dumps, comes back up. BTC keeps on holding price action. 10 a.m. comes around, and then we finally get the drop and we finally get our breakthrough to the downside. I wish I could have gone in earlier, because if I was here, I would have been entered at 10 a.m. and this would have been a, oh my god, it would have been a disgusting trade, but it happens. So what do I immediately recognize when I wake up? I immediately recognize that we have a bearish BTC created right next to us inside of a bearish fair value gap. So when price comes up, I take my chances. I enter it knowing my conviction, knowing the trend, knowing that we are nearing the end of quarter 2. That is quarterly theory. You guys got to learn that. And we had triple witching. You guys got to learn that. A lot of weekly contracts are about to expire. So what do dealers want to do? Dealers want to stay away from the calls. Why? Due to the fact that for the entirety of the past week we've only been pumping. So I take my puts, I drag it all the way down, and then of course you already know me. I get my sniper re-entry for calls as I see the major consolidation happen down here and price continuing to show that we do not want to dump anymore. Once I see the fatigue, I take my chances once again. I enter in for my lotto calls as we're entering the final hour of market, 12 p.m. As we enter there, price just skyrockets up. I end up getting out a little bit too early. Honestly, I could have held it for even more and just let it close on me, but I'm not going to be mad over the bread that I made. I hope you guys enjoy the recap. If you have any questions, let me know. There's going to be a shorter version of this on TikTok. Talk to you guys later.